Hello guys, Psycho here, and welcome to episode 4 of my weekly fix. And here we go, let's kick it off with some news. So the Dawnguard finally has come out on the PC, but PS3? No news on that just yet. Dawnguard, the first expansion for the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, is now available on the PC for $20. It is not, however, available on the PlayStation 3, and it's unclear when that will change. The reason it's not ready. Quote Bethesda, my god, I can't ever get that right. Done 50 fucking takes of this, but that aside, we are not yet satisfied with Dawnguard's performance on the PlayStation 3, said the company in a statement on its blog. We would like for everybody to have a chance to play Dawnguard, but we aren't going to release it for PS3 knowing that some people's experience in Skyrim will be worse. On to other news. Electronic Arts files a lawsuit against Zynga. Electronic Arts has filed a lawsuit against social gaming goliath Zynga over their popular game Vil upon infringing copyrights with The Sims Social. Quote, a representative at Maxis Games. As a long-standing game developer, I know what it feels like to pour your heart and soul into creating something unique and special for your fans to enjoy. Maxis General Manager Lucy Bradshaw in a blog post this afternoon. Today, we hope to be taking a stand that helps the industry protect the value of original creative works and those that work tirelessly to create them. On news of a better note, Apogee announces rebirth of ROTT that's headed for PC later this year. Rise of the Triad was a weird game. It felt like the first-person shooter for people that got burned out on Doom's standard deathmatch. It was full of weapons that at the time seemed nonsensical, like drunk missiles and a god mode power-up that temporarily replaced your weapon with the ability to shoot homing fireballs out of your hand. Well, here are a few screenshots of enemy soldiers getting blown to bits. Cool, I guess. I never really played that game, but for any followers of the series, you should be getting excited because it's coming very soon. On to a little bit more of a strange and unexpected news. Army of Two getting a mature, gritty reboot for some reason. The game's titled The Devil's Cartel in its development at Visceral Games Studio Montreal and will employ DICE's Frostbite 2 engine. It stars Alpha and Bravo, two mercenaries under the employ of Tactical Worldwide Operations who find themselves in the middle of Mexico's unfortunate war between drug cartels. It sounds a bit like Call of Juarez, and I really don't think they're going to be able to pull it off because, well, neither of the first two games were great. They all were kind of pretty terrible. The first one wasn't that bad, but the second one, don't even, like, let's just pretend that didn't even happen. But strangely enough, on to the other next story thing. Valve joins EA and Sony and others in trying to block class action lawsuits. Quote, a representative of Valve, we considered this change very carefully, said the company as a part of a larger statement on the change featured on its website. It's clear to us that in some situations, class actions have real benefits to customers. In far too many cases, however, class actions don't provide any real benefit to the users and instead impose unnecessary expense and delay and are often designed to benefit the class action lawyers who craft and litigate these claims. Class actions like these do not benefit us or our communities. We think this new dispute resolution process is faster and better for you and Valve while avoiding unnecessary costs, and that it will therefore benefit the community as a whole. Some situations of class action lawsuit benefiting customers isn't enough, apparently, and Valve is removing the tool entirely. Unlike companies like Sony, Valve isn't offering an opt-out clause. Sony allowed consumers to continue having access to class action lawsuits by submitting a letter of intent, though that option disappeared 30 days after agreeing to the new terms. You have no such option with Steam, and must simply click OK to move on. Valve is, however, offering to front the legal costs of its preferred option, arbitration of small claims in court. The company will reimburse costs under a certain amount, no matter the outcome, even if it goes against Valve, but it requires the arbitrator to determine the claim. It is not frivolous or the costs unreasonable. It's not clear these charges will ultimately be enforceable, however. They've never really challenged. But by introducing the idea that consumers cannot use class action lawsuits, how many will consider it an option? And again, time will tell on this, but I'm bothered by the response by most players to shrug at this move, as they have in the past. You should carefully scrutinize the reasons your rights are being limited, and even if it's by a company who has traditionally been exceptionally consumer-friendly in the past, Valve. There may never be a point in your life where a class action lawsuit benefits you. You may be tired of getting emails about being part of a class action lawsuit you didn't realize were happening. You may not understand why you received a quarter-sized check in the mail related to a class action lawsuit from a few years ago, whose email notification went in your spam folder. But you shouldn't be okay giving up your rights. One day you may wish that right was at your disposal, and suddenly it won't be. Make sure to read all of Valve's statement. I will put that in the link down below. On to more news. Capcom's probably making more Dragon's Dogma. Capcom announced today Dragon's Dogma has shipped 1.05 million copies worldwide, setting the stage for creating a series of titles. It's still my opinion that Dragon's Dogma represents Capcom's best chance to help make Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter games like that a hit out here. You've already got me on board for a sequel, and I will be waiting, Capcom. Be sure to polish it a little bit more this time, though. On to more financial news. THQ manages to avoid the NASDAQ delisting. Though THQ is far from clear, one headache has been removed: the threat of being delisted from the NASDAQ stock market. The publisher announced this morning it had maintained $1 per share price during the last 10 business days, meaning it no longer is on NASDAQ's watch list. Phew, said THQ management, probably. THQ made some moves lately, including a 1-to-10 reverse stock split that helped make this happen. The Street has an informative article on why NASDAQ delisting is bad for all parties involved, including in case where it could be a good thing. The company makes that decision on its own. Still, as a shareholder, well, quoting someone, still, as a shareholder, having your company delisted can serve effects on your portfolio. Obviously, most companies are delisted were in dire straits to begin with, but the act of delisting can actually force their stock prices to decrease further. While intrinsic values of stock hasn't changed since the day before the stock was delisted, the very fact that it was ejected from its exchange is enough to make the market factors push its price even further below water. That stock that you once paid your hard-earned cash for is likely pretty close to worthless now. The weight on Darksiders 2's shoulders to perform well next month is even greater now. Now moving on to the game releases of the week, Persona 4 Arena. Persona 4 Arena is an upcoming fighter game slated for a release in arcades as well as on the PS3 and Xbox 360. The game will feature characters from both Persona 3 and Persona 4 on the roster, accompanied by their personas. The Amazing Spider-Man for PC was announced at NYCC 2011. It's going to be released this week. The Amazing Spider-Man game is based on the 2012 movie. The console versions are developed by Beanox, the company that created Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time, while the DS version was developed by Other Ocean Studios. A game called Hybrid will also be released this week, coming out sometime in 2012, this week. Hybrid is a sci-fi third-person shooter. The player can choose between one of two warring factions in their bid for global domination. It will only be available for the Xbox 360 at the moment, so I will keep an eye on that because it looks pretty good. So in conclusion, again, another slow week for releases, but hopefully things lighten up the next week as there will be two huge releases in the name of Sleeping Dogs and Darksiders 2. So my trailer pick of the week this week is the Anvil Next Engine trailer. Although this is not the most impressive fidelity an engine has managed to push out of a game in a while, but it sure can bring a shit ton of quantity to make up for that. But that's it for news this week, and thank you guys for tuning in to my weekly fix, and it really means a lot for me, and hopefully you guys have been filled in and got your fix. Leave a like and a favorite if you like this video, leave a dislike and leave the comments why you didn't like it and how, if you didn't like this video, and leave in the comments how I could improve on it, and it would be great if you could send me a PM or check out my channel or anything along those lines, and be sure to subscribe to Skybation because they do great stuffs. But that aside, I'm gonna have to go now, so peace skis! Bye!